Hi, I'm Danny from Angle Tackling Gun. Welcome back to Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to go over compressors. This is a little compressor from Bizley. There are a lot of other ones. But today what we're going to do is just briefly go over these. Some of them are designed for filling guns only. Some of them are designed for filling bottles. So the one that we use, for example, for us personally, is we use one for filling bottles. I don't know too much about these ones, about filling guns. Looks like an alright bit of kit, but we'll go over it together. So rather than read the manual, we're just going to figure this out together. Because why not? Temperature gauge, fairly simple. Pressure gauge, nice and easy. The only thing I don't quite understand at the moment is there's a little manual adapter on the gauge, but that's fine. On the side here, same as usual, so same as the bottles and your pumps. You've got your whip, your hose, and you've got your back pressure on here. So that's just for release. So what we'll do, we'll plug it in and we'll test it. So, oh, just quickly. The other thing as well, what's quite nice, I'll just get this out of the way. So you can either charge this via your car batteries, they give you adapters for it. But what I quite like, there's two buttons on the side, what are these for? Is if I can get it off, your fuse is under there. There you go, fuse is there. So it's just a car fuse, by the looks of it, which is a 50 fuse. Ooh. No, I can't get it back in. I must spit on it. Helps you can see what you're doing. Right, let's test. Oh. Okay. So we're on. It is quite loud. But manageable. Okay. So for now, what I've got. If I turn this off for a second. Okay. Shh. Right. Just to let you know, on the end of your whip, you've got a quick connector with dust plug, which is fine. Just close up, thank you. Inside this, that's great, you've got a moisture filter. Moisture filters are super important. I've got an old one from my compressor upstairs, and I'll show you what that looks like on the inside. And I will be wearing gloves for it. So, do that back up. And push one of the buttons. I don't know what it's doing, but I get a feeling that I probably shouldn't have a plastic tip on the end. Close inspection, that's metal, I don't have to worry. Okay, so, turn it on. Oh my God. Okay. The little bar's going up. You okay? And then it stops. All right. Okay. So I'll put you back down there for a second. Thank you, E4, whatever that means. Right. So we're now at 100 bar of pressure. That was pretty smart. All right. We'll try that again. Oh no. Okay. There we go. So the little gauge up here. Bear in mind, it's only got to fill this, so that's why it's so quick. It doesn't need to be this loud, but cool. Right, so don't forget, same as always. I'll turn it that way. I won't be whipping that. Undo this, and that releases the pressure from there. Cool. So it seems fairly smart. So let's go grab a gun. So I'll grab my 100. So, which is there. Low on air. I'll push the connector in. Try and get this all sorted so we can see it. So that's on there, and I want it to 200 bar. So should be able to see just down here, and then up here as well. One of these days, I should read the instruction and figure out what these buttons do. Oh, there we go. So it's just building up to pressure at the moment. But it's going up. So what I'll do is I'll just fast forward this bit. Excuse the mess, but this is our compressor that we use to fill bottles. I've taken off the frame so you can generally see how it works. Obviously this spins, cools it off, builds up the engine, which is fine. You've got that on the side, which is basically drainage. So if I just have it, you can see what comes out of that. So you tighten that up, which is fine. The sponge there just to clean up some of the mess. It's all connected up to there. Your oil's there, and your filter goes in here. And as you can see, it's quite a big filter. But if I turn this on, it's very loud. So, obviously, don't recommend putting these on without the fan cover on. So it's like a guard that's over the top. That's already on quite a high pressure. Well, it's not, it's on 50 bar, but it was only on for a couple of seconds. And then there you go. So you can see all the stuff that filters out. If you don't have a filter, then that goes into your gun, basically. So the compressor we use upstairs for filling our bottles have filters. Right. So what I'll do is I'll show you what these filters are on the inside. So these stop any moistures or nitty gritty stuff going inside your gun. One of these quickly. So ours needs to be changed anyway, so I don't mind opening this. Right. So if you can see, nice and clean. Right. So you've got your carbon layers, you've got your, I don't know what the middle one is, I really should have looked before doing the video. But basically, it's a filter system, filtration on there. So that's the new one, so it's nice and clean. This is an old one, it's probably had about 40 hours use. It feels horrible to touch on the outside. I turn it that way up. It's just gunky. I'll come around and I'll just bring them in a bit. Hopefully that helps. But you can see all the cap that's gotten into this side. Obviously this one hasn't got it, but yeah, so this is why we have filters, because you don't want this in your gun. If moisture gets in your gun, it causes rust, and then causes leaks, then it causes issues, and it just piles up. So having a good filter system on your compressor, it will just save you in the long run. They're not super expensive to change these. I think they're safe to change every 40 hours anyway, so give or take. But yeah, as I said at the start of this video, compressors isn't something I really use to fill up guns with. I mean, I was quite impressed with how quickly it actually filled up my 100. The only thing I'd be concerned with is the filter systems on these. So they have a little filter system. I don't know if you can add something to them, but as standard, I'm sure they're fine for just topping up rather than filling up. It says you can do small bottles with it, with one like this. There are other, obviously, makes, so you've got like the Hills compressors, which they are a bit bigger. They've got a nice feature where they start-stop, so they get up to a temperature, turn off, and then auto restart once it's cooled down to get you up to your pressure you wanted. so you can set the pressures. Like I said, the one that we've got upstairs it's more capable, it's got more horsepower into it, so but we wouldn't fill a gun off it. So depending on which compressor you were after, if you want to have a look at compressors, that's fine. There's different models, different price ranges and that sort of stuff. I haven't looked even at the water ones where you've got to cool it down by water. I can't imagine me ever seeing them or using them personally or selling them in the shop. It's just, what are the chances if you carry around a bucket of water, for example, you're out in the field? At least with one of these, you can attach it to your car. Obviously, the big one, you just leave at home anyway. So, but yeah. But that's all for today's Tip Tuesday.